Welcome to a deep dive from KinderPage. Today we're diving into, well, a whole lot of research and information you've shared with us.
hmm
It's all focused on understanding the really diverse world of preschools and the different educational philosophies behind them.
Yeah, it's quite a landscape out there.
It really is. So our mission today is to kind of unpack the key differences, explore what makes each approach unique, and hopefully help you navigate all these options.
Absolutely. Just a quick note before we jump in, though.
Oh, right. Good point.
This deep dive is based on the research material provided. We always recommend, listeners should verify specific details independently when they're actually making decisions.
Definitely. Always do your own homework for your specific situation. Okay, so where do we start? The research seems to really kick off by emphasizing these early years, right? The foundational years.
Exactly. And it stresses just how pivotal they are. We're talking about a crucial time for a child's cognitive, social, and emotional growth.
So it's way more than just like supervised play.
Oh, much more. This is where the bedrock for future learning and, honestly, essential life skills really gets laid down.
And the age range we're generally looking at here is what, 3 to 7 years old?
It's the typical window highlighted, yeah. Between 3 and 7. And the amount of development happening then is just staggering.
Like physically, right?
Yeah.
I saw a note about kids gaining around 10 pounds a year during this period.
Yeah, significant physical growth.
Yeah.
But the mental development, that's maybe even more astounding.
Okay.
The research points out that by the end of this period, around age 7, a child's brain is estimated to have reached something like 80% of its adult size.
80%. Wow.
Yeah, 80%.
That really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? Like how much the environment and experiences matter during those specific years.
It absolutely underscores it. It shows just how impactful this time is for shaping a young mind.
So, okay, huge potential, huge development happening, which logically brings us to the next challenge.
Challenge of choice.
Yeah, the research definitely acknowledges how tricky it is for parents. There are just so many different types of programs, different philosophies. It's not simple.
Not at all. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. And the material gives us a useful starting point for thinking about it.
Which is?
It draws a distinction between, let's call them discovery-focused programs and more academic-based programs.
Okay, discovery-focused meaning more hands-on, active exploration.
Exactly. Engaged learning, kids actively exploring, whereas the academic-based ones tend to be more maybe structured,
Right.
regimented in how they present the curriculum.
Right. And the crucial takeaway seems to be that the best choice really depends on the individual child.
Completely. Their needs, their
Yeah.
age, energy level, their maturity. It's all about finding that fit for that specific kid.
Makes total sense. Okay, so understanding why these years are so important and that choosing is complex, that sets the stage. Let's dive into the actual philosophies mentioned.
Let's do it. Unpack some of these main approaches.
Where should we start? Montessori seems like a big one, maybe the most widely recognized.
Good place to start. Yeah, the Montessori method. The research traces it back over a century to Dr. Maria Montessori in Italy.
And the core idea is very child-focused, right? Independence, exploration.
Absolutely. Independence, exploration through hands-on experimentation.
It's
That's the heart of it. It's not about rigid, teacher-led instruction in a fixed order.
So it really leans into a child's natural curiosity. It mentions something about self-regulation, letting kids go at their own pace.
That's key. It fosters independence because children get to choose their activities based on what interests them. The classrooms are described as being filled with these hands-on, often multi-sensory materials.
Designed to build specific skills.
Yeah, things like critical thinking, problem-solving, confidence, even accountability. It's about nurturing the individual child within a structured environment that still allows a lot of freedom of movement and choice. Building those executive functions, really.
That focus on self-direction and individualized pace. It feels quite distinct.
Okay, so moving from that kind of structured independence, what about Waldorf? That sounds different.
It definitely has a different feel. Waldorf education, or Steiner education as it's also known. The material describes it as emphasizing creativity, imagination, and a very holistic development.
Holistic meaning. Physical, academic, spiritual, all woven together.
Exactly. It aims to connect all those aspects. The material suggests it's maybe more philosophical and less structured in a conventional academic sense. The focus is heavily on learning through play and exploration.
So less structured how? Does that mean it's unstructured?
Not necessarily unstructured, but the structure comes from its philosophy, the belief that children are active discoverers, not just passive learners. There's this principle mentioned where children are seen as their own first teachers, learning through interaction and play.
Okay. So what does that look like day to day?
You'd see things like storytelling, singing, simple instruments, a really strong connection to nature, lots of outdoor time, and art, right? Painting, drawing, sculpting, stimulating that creativity.
Yes, artistic endeavors are big. And a unique thing highlighted is that Waldorf teachers need specific, rigorous certification. So while the classroom might feel very flowing and natural, there's a deeply trained philosophy guiding the educators.
Interesting. So a specific training behind that seemingly less rigid approach? Okay, let's shift again. Reggio Emilia.
Ah, yes, Reggio Emilia. This one came out of Italy, too, post-World War II, started by Loris Malguzzi and parents in the villages around Reggio Emilia.
And its focus sounds very collaborative, community-oriented.
Very much so. The research really emphasizes creativity, collaboration, communication, exploration, discovery. Those are the cornerstones.
Rooted in a belief about kids being capable learners from the start.
Exactly. The idea is that children are inherently capable and resourceful. Learning happens naturally through their own curiosity and, crucially, through building strong relationships. Teacher-student, yes, but also student-student.
So kids are really active agents in their own learning. Teachers provide materials for exploration.
Right. Teachers provide rich activities, use movement, active listening. It's designed to really foster that innate creativity, using things like building materials, clay, paint ways for kids to express their understanding.
And collaboration is key. Group projects.
Big time. Solving problems together. And the material mentions the atelier, a dedicated creative workshop or studio.
An atelier, okay, like an art studio within the school.
Sort of, yeah. A special space for creative exploration. And another huge piece is family involvement. Parents might attend workshops, visit the atelier, help plan things. It's very much a community effort.
That deep family integration really stands out. Okay, next up. High scope. This one sounds like it has a strong research background.
It does indeed. High scope is known for that. The material links it back to like over 40 years of study, specifically mentioning the Perry Preschool study from the 60s.
Ah, the Perry Preschool Project, famous for showing long-term benefits of quality early ed.
Exactly. So high scope is really built on data about what works.
So what is its core method, according to the research?
The defining structure is what they call the plan-do-review cycle.
Plan-do-review.
It's central. Kids plan what they want to do during active learning time. Then they do it through child-initiated hands-on activities. And finally, they review or reflect on what they did and learned.
That sounds very intentional, giving kids ownership.
Totally. It fosters child-initiated activities, active learning, collaboration, and it explicitly connects social-emotional development with cognitive growth, seeing them as linked for lifelong success.
So it's building skills like decision-making, goal-setting, reflection,
Yeah.
really valuable stuff. Highly structured, but still child-driven within that structure.
Precisely.
Okay. Next on the list from the material is Bank Street, connected to a grad school in New York.
Yes, the Bank Street approach, sometimes called the developmental interaction approach. The goal here, as described, is for kids to thrive through active engagement, lots of hands-on practical experiences to spark curiosity and creativity.
Sounds quite play-based and experiential again, like some others. What makes it distinct?
While it shares those elements, the material really emphasizes interaction and collaboration. It encourages kids to explore using all 5 senses.
Using all 5 senses explicitly. That's a neat detail.
Yeah, so activities highlighted include things like arts and crafts, music, cooking, imaginative play, storytelling, using everyday experiences and senses as learning tools. Plus, lots of focus on social interaction, problem solving, and motor skills through play.
Gotcha. So play and practical activities are absolutely central, building knowledge through direct experience and interaction.
You got it.
All right, let's switch gears to parent co-ops. The name itself suggests parents are pretty involved.
Oh, definitely. This is a model where parents take a really active, hands-on role in the learning environment. Sometimes it's seen as an alternative to traditional private schools.
How does that actually work?
Parents typically form collaborative groups. They collectively handle planning, delivering, even evaluating the curriculum.
Wow, okay, so parents are the teachers, or?
Sometimes. Or they might hire a professional teacher who fits their philosophy. But parents remain deeply involved in teaching support and administration. The material points out benefits like potential cost savings, kids getting input from multiple adults, and being able to really customize the curriculum based on the family's shared values.
High collaboration, high customization. Makes sense for families wanting that level of input and community.
Exactly. It's a model built on shared investment.
What about religious preschools? They're listed as a specific type too.
Right. As the name suggests, these center on faith-based instruction. The goal is giving kids a foundation in the beliefs and values of a particular faith, fostering spiritual appreciation early on.
So integrating religious content into the daily routine.
Pretty much. Learning about scriptures, hearing faith stories, singing related songs, using visual aids, all done in age-appropriate ways. It often includes concepts like prayer and building character based on the faith's moral teachings, helping kids develop identity within that spiritual framework.
Okay. Next, there's emergent curriculum. That sounds like it's not planned out way in advance.
You nail the core idea. With emergent curriculum, the specific topics aren't predetermined. Instead, the teacher carefully observes the kids, their needs, interests, questions, and then designs instruction and projects that emerge from those observations.
So if the kids get obsessed with dinosaurs,
Then dinosaurs become the vehicle for learning. Exactly. The teacher is an observer and facilitator, using the children's current fascinations as springboards. The material notes it's quite similar in philosophy to Reggio Emilia.
how so?
Both are rooted in constructivism, the idea that kids actively construct their own understanding through experiences rather than just passively receiving information.
Right, knowledge isn't just transferred, it's built. Very child-led, very responsive.
It really is. The teacher skill is observing, assessing readiness, and then creatively designing projects that keep kids actively engaged in building that understanding.
Okay, one more specific curriculum mentioned is Ascend, described as skills and play-based.
Yes. Ascend focuses on using creative play to build a wide range of skills: cognitive, creative, physical, emotional, intellectual, all through purposeful play. It encourages deep thinking, creative expression, and social-emotional growth.
And personalization is a big feature.
Seems to be. The material emphasizes tailoring activities, maybe using tech interactively, and letting kids work at their own pace to keep them engaged and enjoying learning.
Working at their own pace. That theme keeps popping up, approached in different ways across these philosophies.
It does. And just to round it out, the research also briefly flags other general types like traditional language immersion, center-based, home-based programs, sometimes referencing government sources for those broader categories.
Right, those feel more like structural categories, whereas the ones we've unpacked, Montessori, Waldorf, Reggio Emilia, High Scope, Bank Street, co-ops, religious, emergent, Ascend, those are the distinct philosophies shaping the experience.
Exactly. Those really illustrate the spectrum of approaches.
Wow. Okay, that is definitely a lot to take in. From Montessori's structured independence to Reggio Emilia's collaborative creativity, High Scope's research-backed cycle, the responsiveness of emergent, the diversity is really something.
It truly is. Each offers a unique lens on early childhood education, different strengths, different focuses.
And circling back, the material stresses again that picking the right one is a big decision for families.
Understandably so, especially when you think back to that 80% brain development statistic. It makes perfect sense to be thoughtful about it. The research gives some practical advice here.
Like what?
Basically, do your homework. Investigate the options thoroughly. Ask lots of detailed questions about their philosophy and how it plays out daily. And, crucially, visit potential schools if you can. Get a feel for the environment.
Feel it out, see if it clicks.
Yeah. The goal is finding that alignment, what fits your child's personality and learning style, and what aligns with your family's values and priorities.
Finding that genuine match.
That's the key. Finding an environment that doesn't just occupy time, but genuinely enriches, engages, and builds that strong foundation for everything that comes next.
The research also mentioned other resources, like directories for finding programs.
Yes, it points towards resources like directories. And interestingly, it also briefly touches on tutoring options as another way to potentially enhance a child's learning with tailored support, linking out to more info on that.
So support can look different, even beyond the main preschool choice.
Right. It broadens the scope a bit.
Okay, so we've journeyed from why these years matter, the challenge of choice, through this incredible variety: Montessori, Waldorf, Reggio Emilia, High Scope, Bank Street, co-ops, religious, emergent, Ascend.
Quite the tour.
We've seen how different the paths can be, fostering independence, collaboration, using research, following the child's lead.
The variety really speaks to the different ways we understand how young children learn and grow.
It really does. And maybe it leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Thinking again about that massive brain development, that 80% figure. How might the specific environment a child is in during those crucial years, say 3 to 7, how might that shape not just what they learn, but maybe fundamentally how they learn and interact with the world for the rest of their lives?
Hmm, that's a powerful question. The long-term ripple effects of these early environments,
Hmm.
definitely something worth considering deeply.
Indeed. Well, we hope this deep dive into the research has given you some valuable insights as you explore the world of preschool options.
Yeah, hopefully it sparked some ideas or clarified some things. Feel free to revisit the source material or dig deeper into any philosophies that particularly resonated with you after our chat.